Bombshell testimony today in the trial of doomsday cult mom Lori Vallow Daybell. A DNA analyst testified that Vallow's hair was found on a piece of duct tape that had been used to wrap her 7-year-old son JJ's body. So, of course, the question now, how will her defense team deal with this seemingly incriminating piece of evidence? In a moment, we'll check in with a legal reporter who was in the court today. The expert prosecution witness saying hair found on the tape was tested against 3 DNA profiles: Vallow, her former best friend Melanie Gibb, and JJ's older sister Tylee Ryan. And the expert said, quote, the partial DNA profile matched the DNA profile provided for Lori Vallow Daybell. The probability of randomly selecting a random individual in relation to that profile is 1 in 71 billion. The hair was stuck to a piece of duct tape. Duct tape was used on JJ's wrists, ankles, and mouth, as well as used on the plastic bag wrapped around his head and body. Tylee and JJ were last seen alive in September 2019. About a year later, their bodies found buried on a property belonging to Lori's 5th husband, Chad. Both Lori and Chad charged with murder in connection with the deaths of both Tylee and JJ, as well as conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in the death of Daybell's previous wife, Tammy. Authorities say they believe Vallow's brother Alex Cox also conspired to kill JJ, Tylee, and Tammy, and we're going to talk about that. And today we learned through cell phone tracking that Cox, who died of natural causes in 2019, allegedly spent 17 minutes on Daybell's property on September 23rd. JJ was believed killed on September 22nd or 23rd. Also today, Utah Chief Medical Examiner Eric Christensen confirmed Tammy's cause of death was asphyxia and her manner of death was homicide. Photos shown in court revealed bruises on Tammy's arms that allegedly happened in the hours around the time of her death. Last week, we learned the cause of death of Vallow's kids. JJ said to have died after he had a plastic bag over his head and duct tape, as Tylee was declared homicide by unspecified means. Joining us again, Gigi McKelvey, correspondent for Law and Crime, who was in court today. All right, first let me ask you about this hair found on the duct tape that they say matches Lori Vallow. Seems like a big development here. How is the defense dealing with this?
They didn't. I was shocked. You know, on cross-exam, I expected them to say, well, they lived together. Is it not possible it was transferred there? Maybe they'll do it on closings, but it was not brought up today. And we all kind of looked at each other waiting for it, but it never came.
All right, and let me ask you about Alex Cox, the brother. Does it seem like the defense is going to point the finger at him? I mean, I've always thought that that was going to be the defense, right? Which is, wasn't me, it was my brother, Alex Cox. Does it sound like that's where we're going here?
It does. I mean, they're saying it without saying it, really. They're just putting him at all these different places at key moments. And then on top of that, at key moments, they're asking the witnesses, where was Lori? So when the attempt was made on Tammy, she was in Missouri. When Tammy was murdered, Lori was in Hawaii. She scatters like a cockroach when things go down. So, yeah, it seems like they're pretty much introducing now into their play that Alex and somewhat Chad are responsible for these murders and not Lori.
Real quick, what's the latest on thinking on whether Lori will take the witness stand?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised because she's always wiggled herself out of these situations with law enforcement, but this is a different ball game, and maybe she realizes that. I won't be shocked either way. I can't imagine her lawyers tell her it's any good idea at all.
Right.
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
But I'll give my right arm to see it, Dan, so I kind of hope it happens.
Yeah, I think that would be the big moment, that's for sure. Gigi McKelvey, as always, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.